Welcome to Ladies of Another View on Beck. I am Mary, and I am joined today by Andrea and Kendi.
Woo!
We are so excited to be here because
today
is, we don't have him as a guest. We wish we did.
Oh gosh.
We didn't organize fast enough.
I would have him, he could sit right here.
Toby Keith is in town. Toby Keith is in town, right? And so that's why I kind of did I kind of duded up. I was going to save this vest for Memorial Week. And it's like, no, Toby Keith is in town and I'm going to the concert.
And you're looking hot.
Oh, gee, thanks.
You're having a good time.
Oh, it's going to be fun. I got a few graduation parties to get through and then Toby Keith. And then more Toby Keith.
I'm so excited. I'm going tonight too. So I can hardly wait. I'm not wearing this. If you see me, you'll see.
All right, so thanks for joining us today. It is Friday, and you know, it's been a great week. We've had lots of things going on, and yesterday's show was amazing with the two doctors talking about spirulina. You weren't here yesterday.
I was not here yesterday.
Neither was I.
Oh my gosh, you guys have to watch yesterday's show. It was amazing. Just the information about COVID that they were sharing in the hyperbaric chambers, and I can't get enough of that. You have to go back and watch yesterday's show. It was fantastic. Then we also had the My Hometown, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. But first, let's get to, you know, we hate to beat a dead horse, but we're going to. There's still a little.
We wish
let's
it
bring
was
a bat in. Like seriously, it
Oh.
just does not go away.
It just doesn't go away, and it has to do with what? Face masks and Pelosi, right?
Oh gosh,
Two of our favorite things. Anyway, I want you to take a look at this. What's good for thee, but not for me? Here is the epitome of that. Take a look.
hypocrisy.
You got a fine for not wearing a mask on the House floor because Nancy Pelosi, unlike the Senate where you don't have to wear a mask, she says you've got to wear a mask. Although we saw her yesterday, I believe it was, at the White House, and she doesn't have a mask there. Congressman, what is she trying to prove? Because some say she's just trying to rub Republicans' noses in this because all the Democrats are vaccinated and not all the Republicans are.
Yeah, Steve, this is the definition of hypocrisy. You know, Leadership 101 at West Point for me 35 years ago, the first thing they teach you is you never asked people to do something you as the leader aren't willing to do. And here she is in the House at the Speaker's rostrum, not wearing a mask. She goes to the White House, not wearing a mask. Yet she's, keeping this very unscientific. I mean, we all know if you're vaccinated, the CDC came out with this, you don't have to have a mask. But they are forcing it. Even in committee, she basically compelled the House physician to change his rule. His knee-jerk response to the CDC was, hey, let's not wear masks in committee. She came back. He had to retract that and change it. I mean, it's just harassment, basically.
So you're saying she pressured the attending physician to change the rules?
I can't imagine why a physician would come out with one rule. There were no studies in the ensuing 4 days. I'm speculating why he, as a physician, would change his clinical guidance.
Well, don't get caught not wearing a mask again, or it's $2,500 out of your pocket.
That's right, Steve.
Can you believe that? A $500 fine for not wearing a mask, and yet she doesn't wear a mask.
Well, okay, I have a couple things to say about this. So I'm like, okay. So first of all, we started with the symbol of the mask, right? It was the symbol of I'm conforming, I'm going along with this, I love my fellow man, right? Now it's becoming the symbol of showing your face, which I don't wear a mask. The only time I've worn one has been when I've flown on an airplane. But now they're putting the pressure on. If you have received the vaccine, you can wear a mask. But if you haven't, you better put that mask on. So now the symbol has changed. And they're putting this undue pressure on people to conform again. Do you hear what I'm saying?
I do.
And it's super frustrating to me because it never changes. The narrative is not changing. It's a message of you must conform, and if you don't, we will punish you.
And I think that any of us who objected to wearing masks early on did so partly because we saw this eventual reality coming, that it would never just be about the mask, nor would it stay just about COVID, because once they came out with a vaccine, it would be compelled compliance with the vaccine mandates. So if they can manage to compel people to wear a mask, it's not that hard to compel them to get a vaccine or to do anything else that they want to require. you lower your threshold, your resistance to those mandates at every step that you comply. So if you can get them to do the one thing, then you can get them to do the next thing.
It
And
just
that's
makes it easier.
exactly what happened.
Yeah.
It's
crazy.
exactly what happened. It's the game plan. And what's so funny right now, I shouldn't say funny, it's more ironic, is 40% of the hospitalizations right now are those that are from vaccines, that
I
they've
know.
had a bad reaction from the vaccines. So obviously the vaccine is not protecting you from catching COVID because they're still getting COVID.
Right, and
still
here's
getting sick.
the other thing with the whole vaccine, okay? So if you have been vaccinated, don't you think, I mean, logically, you would say to yourself, this is protecting me against getting sick. I mean, that is the argument for being vaccinated. So if you've been vaccinated, you should not be afraid of people who are not getting vaccinated. We are all making choices here. And so those who have been vaccinated, they shouldn't feel this like, oh my gosh, like you haven't been. If you have been, you should technically be protected. And so who cares if you're wearing a mask or not? We're all making the choice now. The vaccine is available. If you want to go that route, go, do. That's fine. But I'm making a choice. I'm not going to do that. And if I get sick, I'm going to get sick, and I'll deal with that.
Right, and I think we're kind of blessed here in North Dakota that nobody really makes it a big deal about the vaccines or not. And again, we're not anti-vaxxers by any stretch. We just don't necessarily agree with this particular one. But if you've had it, great. You know, that's fine. We're not judging that. But it should be a choice.
Absolutely.
And North Dakotans aren't really making that a big deal. Like, yeah, I got vaccinated. No, I didn't get vaccinated. It's not a big deal. But when you get into these bigger cities, New York, you know, DC, these bigger communities, they do make it a big deal, and they do the mask shaming. And it's like, oh, I don't have to wear a mask because I'm vaccinated. And it's like, you know, come on, people. We're all adults here, and we can all make choices. And that's the part that's so frustrating.
I really have a problem with the corporate mandates. You have to get this vaccine in order to either keep your job or to work in this environment, especially given it's still under an emergency use authorization. Like, it hasn't even been approved by the FDA, but there are places that are mandating it. That's really
That's a
scary.
lawsuit
Okay.
waiting to happen.
It is a lawsuit waiting to happen.
To touch on that. So I have a son who just graduated from college. He had a job interview set up in Kansas. Okay, they were going to fly him out there. The day before, they called him and they said, we just want to make sure that you've been vaccinated. And he's like, well, no, I haven't. And they're like, well, we're sorry. We're not going to interview you. We are requiring every employee to be vaccinated. So he lost out on an opportunity to be interviewed and possibly be employed because he chose not to get vaccinated. And I asked him, you know, he was actually, out of all of my kids, I thought that he would be one who would get it. And I said, why didn't you? And he said, well, I'm young, I'm pretty healthy, and based on what I've seen, those who are my age, you know, they're recovering. And he said, everyone I've seen who's gotten the vaccine has gotten sick from it. And he said, I wasn't willing to take that chance.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, thank you, son. I raised you well.
May I ask what field he applied in?
So it was to work in city government. He wants to ultimately become a city planner.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
and the city is requiring it. Ooh,
Yeah.
Scary roads.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Wow. Okay, well, that's enough about vaccines and masks and COVID for a Friday. We're going to carry on. Coming up next, we're going to talk to the general manager of the Bismarck Bucks right here in our studio today. So take a peek at this, and we'll be right back with Ladies of Another View on Back.
Respect, innovation, trust, and excellence. These core values can be seen in every building built by Straightway Construction. In the community for over 15 years, Straightway Construction has become the premier construction company for commercial projects. From dirt to design and framing to finish, Straightway Construction is your #1 choice. You won't have to look far to find a project that has that Straightway touch. Call them today or go online to straightwayconstruction.com and let them make your vision a reality.
If you don't know what's going on in education in this country, then you don't know what's going to happen in the future of this country. And it's important. I'm Dr. Duke.
And I'm Katie.
Watch the Dr. Duke Show weekdays at 4 p.m. Central Time on Beck TV.
Hi, I'm Dennis Haugen, along with my sons Andy and Mike, and we're showing our support for wind energy in North Dakota.
Wind energy has provided farmers like us with a steady stream of income that's not tied to the weather like crops and cattle are.
Another bonus is that wind farm owners are required to maintain the roads leading up to the turbines. Because of that, oftentimes these roads are the best in the county.
Wind energy is good for landowners, it's good for the land, it's good for our economy, and it's good for North Dakota.
I'm Rick Becker from No Apologies. Welcome to your after-hours oasis of sanity.
How can these people not see that they're just clowns?
We help simplify and educate you on things going on in the legislature and around the country.
Asking the hard-hitting questions.
But also having Lee Stack and Sid and Marty Croft stuff, and we've talked about that sometimes. It's bad.
Watch us weeknights at 9 Central on Beck News and online at beck.news.
Pub 21, your one stop for fun, drinks, and food. Our spacious facility provides COVID-safe fun for you and all your friends. With nightly bingo and specials, you can be sure there's something to do for everyone. If you're staying in for the night, we've got you covered just across the way with Pub 21 Liquor. We have a wide variety of options, from wine to whiskey and everything in between. Stop in today at 1014 South 12th Street in Bismarck to see what all the buzz is about. You won't be disappointed.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck. We are joined right now by the general manager of the Bismarck Bucks. Her name is Heather Ripplinger. Heather, welcome to the show.
Heidi.
Heidi. You know why I say Heather? Because my husband's cousin Lisa is a Ripplinger, and her name is, their daughter's name is Heather Ripplinger.
There's a lot of
It's
us
Heidi.
Ripplingers.
It's Heidi. You
You're
guys,
so
I'm
sweet.
so sorry.
It's
oh
Heidi.
my
It's
gosh.
Heidi. That's okay.
And I was worried that I was going to do it, and that's why I did it.
I know, we were
I had the
talking
note
yesterday
right
and
here
you were
that it's Heidi.
That's all right.
Okay. And we don't do retakes, so sorry. But this is Heidi Ripplinger, but I also know Heather Ripplinger. No relation, though. Anyway, Heidi, welcome to the show.
Thank you, ladies.
Oh, now I'm flustered. But so tell us a little bit how you got here. You are from the area.
I'm from
initially.
Minot originally, yes.
Mandan. Okay. Minot.
Yep. So Minot, born and raised, and then I moved to California for a long time. So
what took you out there?
Military. I was married to Air Force for a while, so we moved out there, and then I moved back to North Dakota. Military brought me back, and then I moved to Bismarck in 2012. So I've been here in Bismarck since 2012, and it's kind of crazy to see like how your life progresses and such. But I've always really enjoyed the entertainment industry, and in Minot, one of my friends when I moved back had a semi-pro team that he was working throughout the Midwest, basically. So North Dakota, Minnesota, some parts of South Dakota. And
that was football as well?
Yeah, it was semi-professional. Mm-hmm. So he was the owner of that league, and he was like, hey, what are you doing over the weekends? Like, you look like you need some more things in your life to do. And I was like, sure, what do you got? And he's like, I need a marketer for my semi-pro team, and if you want to help out with the league-wise, that would be great. And so I just kind of, jumped in and helped, and then I ended up working with the coaches and owning part of that team. And so I owned part of that team for many years until, in Bismarck, then I decided to let that go, and then was introduced to the Bucks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But so when you were in California, when we were visiting the other day, you played a little bit of, was it
soccer?
Soccer.
Yep. Co-ed soccer was, adult sports in general in North Dakota are not as, I guess.
Prevalent?
Yeah, they're not as prevalent and not necessarily as competitive as they are, I feel like, in California. It's just different types of styling, I guess.
But
and there's no adult soccer that I'm aware of. But
I was going to say we do have the highest beer drinking capacity of
Correct.
any state. So
yeah, and if you go softball wise and
is that
such,
a sport?
That's a sport for some. In North
Yeah.
Dakota, it's a sport.
There is pickup soccer on Sunday nights.
Is there?
India.
I did not know that.
There you go.
I've
might have
asked
to-
a
we
fair
might have
amount
to
of
draft
times
you.
too. I know, right? It's kind of funny. I just took out my soccer cleats this last couple weekends, and John, my other half, he's like, "What are you still doing with those?" I'm like, "I can't get rid of them. Those are like my favorite."
Oh, that's so cool.
We'll get you a connection.
There
That's
you
the thing,
go.
Will Gardner. Will
Yep.
Gardner we can hook you up with him. He's my kids went to school with his kids, and he's a friend of ours.
Yeah.
And big into soccer. So anyway, fast forward. Now you're back in Bismarck.
Yeah.
You're not playing soccer.
No.
But you are involved with a semi-pro football team.
No, professional.
Professional.
Yeah.
Professional.
So went from
indoor.
semi-pro to professional
Okay.
arena. Yep.
Okay.
Indoor football. So in 2018, I met some of the ownership group, and they were interested in having people help them do some sales and marketing. And so I was introduced and had a conversation, and Derek was like, "Okay, we can do this, and this is what I want you to do." And within, I think, 60 days, I ended up being the GM. So it was a very, very fast-paced from a consultant position to a full-time position.
So how long has the Bismarck Bucks been in Bismarck, and then when did Beck acquire them?
So the Bucks started in Bismarck. Their first season was 2017, and then in the spring of 2019 is when Beck took over full ownership. And since then, we've changed a lot of things within the organization. And as you can see, our offices are in the back of the Beck building now, so you ladies get to see a few of us on occasion as well. But we've grown from more of a seasonal staff to we're looking at more options of more of a full year-round staff, which would be great, just in order to keep up, our public events and appearances and such. So.
That's so cool. Did you ever imagine that you would be in this position? I mean, I'm thinking of you as like a little girl. Little
Yeah.
girls have these dreams of what they're going to be when they grow up. And I mean, was this even in your wheelhouse?
No. No. I originally went to school for audiology, and then when I moved to California, I ended up getting my master's in marketing and project management. So, then I was like, oh, I'm going to work for a great brand, and I'm going to be, a brand marketer. And I worked for a fantastic brand for, a long time in California, and even part of the time when I lived in North Dakota. So I worked for a spice company, a national spice company, for over 8 years, and then came back, and then, you figure out something different, and it's definitely interesting how that changes. But
So you're a spice girl?
I'm a spice girl, yeah.
It is Friday. I have a cold. I have lots of cough drops, and that's why I'm
So you need some
half-brained.
ginger in your life, is what you're telling me, right?
Oh, interesting. Not to be off the subject, but I've never met anybody that's worked with spices. And when you think of how our world goes round, you know what I'm saying? All the little things that make America what it is, we have people working in spices that we just buy them, at the grocery store, and you have spices. You don't think of someone promoting spices. So that's really cool. I just want to kind of put that out there.
Yeah, it was a fantastic job, and it's kind of interesting because my boss there is very similar to Derek, just in how he works and such. So it was an easy transition for me that way, to understand like directions and such, and how somebody, how they act and react, and just working alongside them, it works well that way.
Oh,
so what have you loved as you've taken upon this new responsibility? What do you love about what you're doing with the Bucks?
I love the people interaction. Like, hands down, I love working with the community. I love working with our partners. We have some fantastic partners that have really worked through the Bucks and through the years, and have stood by us, and working with what their goals are as a business and what ours are, and finding where they meet, and then working that into a program. And Coach Rod Miller and I have really changed a lot of things, just how that works. This year is a lot different with COVID. At first, we weren't able to do any appearances, but now that's opened up a lot more, at least for us here locally. So that is really nice. So we're able to get back into the community and do some things. And those are my favorite things, when you can see the players and you can see the kids' faces and them understanding that this is a professional player. Or, we do have some that have played with the NFL, and Rod has some fantastic accolades. He's won championships and such, and so has Coach Corey Ross. He was an NFL football player, so it's just great to see and then see their interactions within the community.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that is.
We only have about a minute left of this segment, but when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about you guys are having some free tickets for kids this year. You're having all kinds of promotions. There's just so much going on with Bucks this year. It's really in a kind of like an expansion that people are excited
Very
in the
much so.
community. We've heard good things. We were down there for a meet and greet. The ladies of Another View and Doug Billings were down there a couple weekends ago.
Yep,
and
game one.
It was fantastic, and I had never been to an indoor game. And so we're going to talk more about that when we come back after these messages, and we'll talk more about the Bucks after this on Ladies of Another View on Back.
Jeez, what a mess. Look at that. There's roof stuff everywhere. It's so embarrassing. Ruins the neighborhood. Come on, humans. Let's get this fixed.
Don't let your roof go to the dogs. Call America's Best Contractors for your free estimate.
Need a new woof?
After checking with the rest, go with the best. America's Best Contractors. 258-2412. Online at americasbestcontractorsincorporated.com.
Join us May 22nd as we take on the Northern Arizona Wranglers for Senior Scholarship Night. Every student deserves an opportunity. Help us, help our students. For more information, visit bismarckbucks.com/scholarship or call 701-595-0771.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Thanks to your support, you've helped make MyPillow become one of the fastest growing companies in America. Over the last 12 years, you've helped MyPillow create thousands of jobs right here in the USA.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
That's why I invented MyPillow. My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs and helps keep your neck supported and aligned. I'm interrupting this commercial right now. Retailers have canceled MyPillow, and to thank you for your support, I'm gonna pass the savings directly on to you. For example, you get my 6-piece towel sets, regular $109.99, now only $44.98, or MyPillow dog beds for as low as $19.99 with your promo code.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Ever been in a cave before?
It's our first time.
All right.
Where are you going?
I'll see you at the car! How will we? The car! Your offer's been accepted. Ever bought a house before?
It's our first time.
All right.
Where are you going?
I'll see you at the closing. But how will we? The closing!
Hey everybody, I'm Doug Billings, your host of The Right Side with Doug Billings on Beck News. We bring you high-profile guests, ladies and gentlemen, exclusive guests. Now, you're not going to see these guests in most of the mainstream media outlets. Another thing that I do here is give guests a platform to speak freely. You're not going to see me censor anybody. Please join us, won't you? Weeknights right here on Beck TV and online at beck.news. Cheers.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck. We are visiting with Heidi Ripplinger, General Manager of the Bismarck Bucks. Go Bucks! Woo!
Go
So the season just started a couple weeks ago. What is the length of the season?
Traditionally about 5 to 6 months.
5 to 6 months.
And usually we start in February or March. And so the season has been a little bit different for us that way.
Okay, and I heard there's great news regarding getting new kids or just getting new spectators to the place. So tell us about these tickets.
So we've done a very strong initiative with kids in tickets in general. We had kids 12 and under were free previously, and we've extended that to our seniors. So 18 and under, you can go on our website, download a voucher, and you can get in free to any Bucks game. So.
Oh, that's fantastic. And that's giving back to the community, you guys. When you think about community and you get free tickets to a professional indoor game. And I will say that we did go.
Oh,
I'd never
man, it was
been
so fun.
to a game, and was it ever fun?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I had no idea it was that fun, and I can't wait to go back.
Well, you ladies were in the party pit too,
I
right?
know, we were right on the board, so
We were the
sitting
party
right
pit.
there. We were the party.
Yeah, so that north end zone is where the party pit, that top red area, which is really fun. But yeah, that can be either a small group, large group, anybody.
Yeah, I think
so
that
it's
night
always
it was
great.
actually along the sides. We were on the
Oh,
sidelines.
you were on the sidelines?
Yep.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay.
But yeah, so there's
Oh, I
the
know.
seating right there, and so normally tickets are anywhere from $14 to $39, and then if you want a VIP table down below, it seats about 4, so it's about $150 a ticket in a sense, $600 for the table. And so, you know, there's season tickets. I mean, when you think about what you spend in a night, say you're going out on the town for a steak supper or something, you're going to blow $100 just for 2 people easily.
Absolutely.
So here you can go ahead and you know, there's food there. There's you know, it's really reasonable for good, clean, fun entertainment, and it's fast too. The one thing I hate to talk too much, but the one thing that I noticed about this, I know you're saying yeah, right, Mary. I got a head cold. Is how fast the game went.
Yeah.
Like you think of football players as these big, bulky guys, and it's not. These
Well,
are
and it's half the field.
It's
you know,
sprinting.
so it's a lot. Oh yeah.
It's a sprinting
It's a very
game.
fast-paced, high-scoring game. So we tease that it's half the field, double the fun.
Oh.
You know, so with all of the promotions and everything, and you see guys come over the. Did you end up having anybody come over the dasher boards?
Not that day.
Okay, yeah, it definitely happens. And so, you know, that's why the tables are set back a little bit. So when that happens, they come over in their full force.
I did want to say that the weights to hold the flags was filled with rice, and North Dakota doesn't grow rice. So if you could could put wheat or if you could put corn in those pop bottles to hold that,
I will work
think
on that.
That is something that I noticed.
That's too
So what are
funny.
you hoping to see from the team this year?
Well, the guys have been doing great. You know, I don't know if you guys have followed on Facebook and saw some of they went to Watford City for training camp. That was, I think, fantastic for them. We kind of built them a bubble for training camp. Usually we do it here in town. We just had a fantastic opportunity with some awesome partners out in Watford City that we were able to work with this season. And the guys got like VIP treatment all week, and they really got to, you know, come together as a group and really work on that team, you know. So they're doing great. They are 2-1 right now. So we're obviously hoping for another win this weekend against the Northern Arizona Wranglers. So
is that home?
They are, yep, it's here this weekend. So they are new to the league, that team is. So we'll see how they play.
Wow.
Give them some North Dakota hospitality and send them packing, right?
Right. Totally. So my daughter actually lives in northern Arizona.
Oh,
so
really?
just that.
So they're from Prescott.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, she's in Flagstaff.
Yeah.
I want to just touch on the whole aspect of family friendly with the Bucks. We were talking in a meeting earlier this week, and you know, we have these press passes.
Yep.
Talking about how with the Bucks, specifically after the games, the press is not allowed to approach the players. Tell us why.
So we have a partnership with Shields, but on this it's called the Shields Signature Session. And basically we set out 21 chairs, so there's 21 players on the roster on game days, and each of the players sit down. They have a permanent marker, and the kids all set back at the gates, and as soon as the gates open, you can see the families flood in, and they are the first that get to interact with the players before the media. So I think it's important for the kids to get that opportunity. That's not something that you get in any other professional sport. You know, they'll not have a signature session where they'll have like maybe 2 or 3 key players that are available to do that, but they get to meet every single person. You know, even if they're not suited up that day, those guys go out and sit there too, and we have the mascot out there, our coaches come out, and it's just basically just like a, you know, it's like a picnic on the field, right? It's like everybody gets to just be themselves, and the kids love it.
I love that. It's
Yeah.
kind of covered me in goosebumps. Just, I love anything that's like community centered.
Yeah.
And that is
It's a
totally
very personal
community
experience.
focused.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of those kids, you'll see them come with their T-shirts from, we have a kids camp in the beginning of the season and the end of the season. So that one fills up like crazy. That's a very highly attended event as well. But that's another opportunity where they get to do that. But if they haven't met that player yet, you know, you'll see them come back with their T-shirt or their football, and they'll continue on getting the rest of the signatures, and they'll run around and go into their line, and it's a lot of fun.
Cool, and good role models for kids.
Yes, yes, yeah.
That's neat.
So then, okay, the season just started, and it goes, you said, about 5 months?
Yep, 5 to 6 months. So our last game weekend is like August 21st. So that is our last game of the season. It's an away game, but our last home game is August 13th.
Okay, so we have the Bismarck Bucks schedule up on the screen for our viewers. But I just want to say okay, so the next couple of weekends, there's a lot of graduations going on. So I know it's going to be hard to get a lot of kids there, because even this weekend
we try and be smart and at least like avoid the majority of them, you know. So at least we have away games versus a home game those weekends.
Good. That helps, because I thought, oh, you'll be disappointed, because I mean, I think I have like 6 or 7 tomorrow night alone.
Yeah.
You know, so it'd be tough. But that is such a great opportunity for our community, and I can't say enough, you know, to go ahead and support the Bismarck Bucks, because you know, you don't appreciate things until they're gone.
Right.
And you know, we don't want to lose something that is this great. It is great for our community to go out and enjoy them. So tell us a little bit about yourself, you know, in a sense where you are the first female general manager of a professional sport or football sport. Is that correct?
Yep. So obviously it's a male-dominant sport, so there is not a lot of females in the upper management. So as far as well, Rod did some looking too, and as far as we know, yes, I'm the first female GM in professional sports. So, yeah, and now there is at some higher levels. There is in baseball and hockey now. So, but that, you know, that's been only the last 2 years has that changed. So, and I know that we're almost positive as well that we are the first female GM and AGM team as well. So Destiny Brown, who came from another team that wasn't able to play this season because of COVID. So she was available, and so we called her up, and I asked her to come out and hang out with us this season, and she's been fantastic. So she's a great addition. But yeah, so we have an actual full female GM, AGM team.
Wow, that's amazing. So, I mean, now that you're doing this, what do you love about your job?
I love working and planning and seeing the end results of everything, right? So like we work all year basically to put on 8 events, you know. So we have 8 games this season, and there's a lot of planning, there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes, and having it being professional, we do everything from feeding the players to housing the players to, you know, ensuring that their health and safety is good when they're here. So we have, you know, our medical providers and such as we have our Sanford AT that's on staff like during the season. The guys work out and, you know, maintaining all of that stuff. So it's interesting because it's a little bit different obviously than the NFL, because obviously there's a lot more dollars that go with that one. But just seeing all of those pieces of the puzzle put together and then to work through all of that for the season is just, it's an awesome feeling.
Right, so cool. In 30 seconds or less, just tell us, you know, give us some inspiration for young ladies that, you know, might want to do something like this.
Do not let being a female stop you from doing what you want to do in life, honestly. You'll find a way, and where there's a will, there's a way, and you just keep reaching for the stars.
Oh, amen. Amen. I so love that. It's just, it's empowering to see that we can do anything, right? And so with that, we will come back and talk about, what do we have next? We are going to talk about My Hometown series. That's coming up after this on Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Since opening in Hebron in 1940, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been your hometown bank. Our mission has been to provide modern banking convenience with old-fashioned hometown service. We've grown with the communities we serve through year-round events, countless sponsorships, and nearly 7,000 hours of volunteering each year. Learn more about our 80-year history at dakotacommunitybank.com.
Hop in the rig and go down the road with me. We'll cover local and national stories that impact you. What happens with national debt? Does anybody even care anymore? Do you think Governor Burgum truly understands the legislative process?
You know, I think he's got a better understanding now than he did 2 years ago.
Why in the world are we having a conversation about being anti-vaccination? Down the Road with Joel Heitkamp weekdays at 5:30 Central on Beck News and online at beck.news.
Respect, innovation, trust, and excellence. These core values can be seen in every building built by Straightway Construction. In the community for over 15 years, Straightway Construction has become the premier construction company for commercial projects. From dirt to design and framing to finish, Straightway Construction is your #1 choice. You won't have to look far to find a project that has that Straightway touch. Call them today or go online to straightwayconstruction.com and let them make your vision a reality.
Jeez, what a mess. Look at that. There's roof stuff everywhere. It's so embarrassing. Ruins the neighborhood. Come on, humans. Let's get this fixed.
Don't let your roof go to the dogs. Call America's Best Contractors for your free estimate.
Need a new woof?
After checking with the rest, go with the best. America's Best Contractors. 258-2412. Online at americasbestcontractorsincorporated.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Thanks to your support, you've helped make MyPillow become one of the fastest growing companies in America. Over the last 12 years, you've helped MyPillow create thousands of jobs right here in the USA.
When I got my pillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
That's why I invented MyPillow. My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs and helps keep your neck supported and aligned. I'm interrupting this commercial right now. Retailers have canceled MyPillow, and to thank you for your support, I'm going to pass the savings directly on to you. Go to MyPillow.com right now to get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. For example, you can get my premium MyPillows regularly $69.98, now just $29.98, the lowest price ever.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck. Wasn't that fun?
That was.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna go.
And you know, here we forgot to point out, and she wanted to make sure that you all heard this. It is free general admission tickets for the rest of the season for everybody, not just students, but for everybody. They want to fill the stadium, and they're doing this as a gift to the community because they couldn't have any games last year due to COVID.
Yeah.
And so they're giving back to the community. How nice is that? I mean, to get some, you know, good, wholesome family entertainment right here in Bismarck.
Yeah.
And I also want to point out, you know, we have a semi-pro baseball team. We have a semi-pro hockey team. I mean, Bismarck really has a lot of family-oriented things.
Yes.
And that's what's great about living in a community like this. But yeah, free tickets. Bismarck Bucks, just log on to their website and you can download a voucher and take the voucher right to the stadium. Free general admission to any hometown Bucks game.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I love that sense of community. And I mean, Bismarck's relatively large when you compare it to other small towns in North Dakota, but it still has that small town feel. And I love it.
So, you know, that brings us to the next topic. It's called, right here on Beck, we have a series called My Hometown. And it was something that was brought up by Brent Butler. He's a new person here in the building, and we absolutely love him. He has brought so many great ideas right here to the show. But anyway, it's a series called My Hometown. And so what we do, and we've had a couple of them now. We've been in Linton, and we've been in Center. Next week, we're going to be in Napoleon. And the week after that, we're going to be up in Washburn. And so it's just kind of fun because, you know, when I did the first couple of interviews, I found that there are hometown heroes living amongst us that I knew for years, and you had no idea what their story was. And as we grow older, a lot of these stories are going to go missing. They're not documented. And so it's kind of Beck's way of paying back the community in a sense where let's keep this history alive.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting. Andrea, where is your first hometown? Is Bismarck? Are you from Bismarck?
I'm from Mandan.
From Mandan.
Technically, I was born in Oklahoma, and we spent a couple years in Oregon, but the family ranch is southwest of Mandan, so that's home.
Just give us an experience, something that you remember as a kid in your hometown.
Boy.
Well, when I think of Mandan, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. When I think of Mandan, I think of the 4th of July.
Yeah. Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
just the biggest, one of the largest parades in the nation is right here in Mandan, North Dakota.
Yep. My grandfather served on the parade committee, the Mandan Progress Association, many, many years ago. So
wow.
Between the rodeo and the 4th of July parade, just very memorable and worth going. If you're new to the area and you've never been to a Mandan 4th of July celebration, make it this year.
It is one of the top 10 in the nation. One of the top 10 4th of July celebrations in the nation is right here across the river in Mandan, North Dakota. So where are you from originally? Like, what's your first hometown?
Roots? So, I mean, you know, I'm not from North Dakota. I'm not a native here, but I love it here, and my roots are frozen, so I don't plan on leaving. But no, so I was born actually on the Utah-Idaho border. I lived in a very, very small town in Idaho. It's called Weston, Idaho. It was a farming community, and I'm guesstimating that the total population was 400, so very tiny. One of the things that I love about small towns, and I really do count this as a huge blessing in my life to have been born into a small town, is that sense of, there was a safe feeling there and a sense of community. The school that I went to, it was an old white 2-story school building that had like those large school bells at the top, and so they didn't ring it when I was in school because the school was so old and they were worried that it would
fall off.
But it was a part of the community. It's no longer standing because it was so old they had to tear it down. But yeah, I'm grateful for my roots and for the place that I'm from.
So I'm guessing that there were probably people within that community, you know, because you've been gone for a while now, that they have a story that you don't know what it is, whether it's the military or how they settled the area, that type of thing. And that's what this series is all about. It's about kind of reliving some of that history and bringing it back to the forefront, because a lot of this is just slipping by us. And it's like, you know, as we lose our parents and grandparents, it's like, I wish I would have asked them that. So that's what this whole series is about. It's about locating some of the folklore, some of the, you know, maybe a haunted house, maybe, you know, a war hero. We've come across some great stories, and I tell you what, I'm going to be doing the Washburn one, and I don't want to spoil it, but we have the potential to, like, one of our guests, unbelievable, amazing story. Fingers crossed, because he's 91 and he doesn't live in Washburn anymore, but we're going to find him, and we're going to, if we have to Zoom, we're going to get that story. I'll just give you a hint. He did get the Rough Rider Award here in North Dakota, and he insisted that he come back and receive it in Washburn. He didn't want to receive it anywhere else. He doesn't live here anymore. He didn't want to receive it there. He had to come back and receive it right in Washburn. So I'm excited about that, and that's going to be in June. So stay tuned for that.
That's amazing. You know, I want to touch on the power of stories. I've mentioned this before on the show. My family, the history, my culture that I was raised in, very, very focused on family stories. I mean, I grew up hearing stories from my ancestors, and those stories really helped me. There's one in particular, my grandpa, when he was a young boy, now I didn't know this until I was married, and I always saw him as a perfect person, but I learned that when he was a young boy, he did some things that were considered quite rebellious, like going into town, picking up cigarette butts on the street, and smoking what was left. Innocent things.
Yes.
But I saw him more as a real person, and I had made some mistakes in my life at that point, and it just gave me a lot of comfort as a person to see that my grandpa was a real person who made mistakes, and yet he turned out great. And so he helped me feel like I can do that too, even though they were small, but to me they were big mistakes that even though I had made them, I still had potential and my life could turn out good. So there's just so much good that can come from these stories that we learn from people who are older than us.
Right. So I know one of the stories in Washburn that's coming up is the ferry boats that were up there. And you know, the bridge between Oliver County and McLean County was built in 1972. So before that, they had to go all the way around up to Pick City and over just to get to a basketball game, or they had to come down to Bismarck just to get to a basketball game in Oliver County. Wow. And so you think of all the changes that have happened in the last 30 years that our kids just take for granted. you know, and these were things that we grew up with, and that's just small parts of history that I know that my kids would never know or even care about. But now that we're getting older, you think about some of these stories.
Yeah.
And that's what that My Hometown series is all about, and we're so excited for it.
The summer is such a great time to travel through North Dakota too. So I hope that you're inspired by some of these to go check out some of these little towns. I know Washburn's a family favorite for us because they have the Mandan, the Fort Mandan up there. And they have the interpretive center, and they have some docents who have researched. They spend a lot of time studying the history, and they can tell a good story. So watch the show, but also travel, see these places, and talk to these people yourself. For sure.
One thing that, because I used to live in South Dakota, and if you ever get down in that area, which I'm sure you do, but if you're on the like the secondary roads, they always have these little pullover sites, and there's a great big like brass plate with the history of something that may have happened. It might have been a battle, it might have been, you know, a homestead, it might have been, but something very significant. And I think that's something North Dakota should do too, because there's a lot of history up here as well, and it gives you a reason to stop. And it could be in the middle of nowhere, you know, and we just don't do that. I think North Dakota needs to, you know, step it up.
You know, or, you know, take the road and stop, because there's sites like that up at Double Ditch. You can get out and walk around. There's hiking trails there. It's all listed. The Chief Looking Village here in Bismarck, you can walk around that one. They've got plaques. Even down at Huff, there's the
Huff Indian Village.
Yep. That one was really interesting.
Yeah, it is.
I couldn't believe how quickly it disappeared.
Yes.
That was
smallpox, had something to do with that one. But anyway, we have already run out of time. We're going to come back with our lighter side after this, but stick around because it's a good one. We'll be back after this on Ladies of Another View on Back.
Respect, innovation, trust, and excellence. These core values can be seen in every building built by Straightway Construction. In the community for over 15 years, Straightway Construction has become the premier construction company for commercial projects. From dirt to design and framing to finish, Straightway Construction is your #1 choice. You won't have to look far to find a project that has that Straightway touch. Call them today or go online to straightwayconstruction.com and let them make your vision a reality.
Deciding how to promote your business can be hard. Visit the professionals at Dakota Promotions and Printing and let them help you through your struggle. Dakota Promotions provides promotional items and apparel, from corporate gifts to team shirts and everything in between. With quick turnaround times and friendly service, they are your best choice. And best yet, you're shopping local. Visit them online at dakotapromo.com or stop in their showroom at 320 West Main in Mandan. Dakota Promotions, delivering promotions just for you.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros, with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's hot dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York To Go, we deliver for you.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Hey Bucks fans, if you're planning an outing, birthday, or employee appreciation night, then bring your group out to the Buck Stop for a night of fast-paced, high-scoring football. Your group will receive discounted tickets, options for reserved seating, scoreboard messages, VIP services, swag, and a space to gather during the game. You can also participate in pre-game ceremonies, halftime entertainment, in-game contests, and more. Call 701-595-0771 or visit bismarckbucks.com/tickets. All GA is first come, first serve. We'll see you on the turf. Go Bucks!
I'm Rick Becker from No Apologies. Welcome to your after-hours oasis of sanity.
How can these people not see that they're just clowns?
We help simplify and educate you on things going on in the legislature and around the country.
Asking the hard-hitting questions.
But also having fun. Stack and Marty Krofft stuff, and we've talked about that sometimes. It's bad.
Watch us weeknights at 9 Central on Beck News and online at beck.news.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck. You know, we're doing a little chatting on the break here, and I wanted to mention in the Linton, my hometown, one of the things that we didn't get to because we just ran out of time, and that's what happens on all those.
Oh, yeah.
We just run out of time. But how Linton became the county seat, you know, they wanted it in Linton. The railroads were going north. They thought the railroads were going north. They actually ended up in Linton. But one night, some people, and nobody knows who these people were, went up to the place where they were going to have the county seat. They stole the safe and they brought it back to Linton, and therefore they said, "We have the safe. This is our county seat."
I guess that's one way to do it,
isn't it? So, and that's just fun, you know. And then in the center of my hometown, I ran into a person that I've known for 30 or 40 years, and here he was on the rooftop in Saigon as the embassy was evacuated.
Wow.
You know, have known him for that, and you don't know that these people live amongst us. So that's why it's important to save these stories.
That's so cool.
Anyway, but this brings us to our lighter side, and this we were going to use yesterday, but we had so much fun yesterday, we ran out of time. Take a look at this. It's about a horse. Isn't that just amazing? And the handler leads him down the hallway, and the horse decides where to stop. They don't take him to a room. He will just stop in front of the room where he thinks he needs to be.
That's amazing.
It's a beautiful horse with a beautiful soul.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And animals do have a way of having this. You know, they know more than we do. It just, but, you know, some of those people, you know, and then when not to go back to my hometown, but kind of the same, a lot of those elderly people, they worked with horses when they were on farms or growing up as kids. Not everybody lives in town. You know, back then, we're about 3 generations away from everybody kind of sort of living on a farm. So a lot of that older generation, they grew up with horses, either riding them to school or working with them, plowing fields and this and that. So to take them into the nursing homes, that is so powerful to those people.
Absolutely. I personally struggle with horses. I have not been comfortable with them, but I am always in awe of them. And that was a beautiful, beautiful video. And just, I'm calling this like the show of feels. Like, I've just been feeling it today. That was just so, so good.
It's powerful.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, it leaves us, we have about a minute left. Why don't you just kind of give us your final thoughts, whether it's what you're going to do for the weekend or what you thought of the week, just anything you want to share with us or the viewers.
It's a good week. It was beautiful weather, and I got a new haircut.
I know, it's
yes,
so cute.
Isn't that sassy?
Awesome.
Look at that sassy
I walked in
haircut.
and I was just, yeah, totally. So I had an amazing experience this week with a viewer. Wednesday evening, bought me a few drinks. I was sitting at another table, and just thank you so much to everyone who is watching the show and encouraging us and supporting us.
Yes.
It means a lot.
Absolutely.
Isn't that the truth? And I had a great week too. My son is going to graduate. The youngest of the family will graduate on Sunday. We had his baccalaureate mass on Wednesday, and everything is going well, and he's going to graduate. Yay. So with that, we want to thank you for joining us, and check us out next week, and have a fantastic weekend, and just enjoy life. We'll see you next time on Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Just like you, I had problems sleeping. I tried every pillow out there and nothing worked. 15 years ago, I invented MyPillow. It took me 2 years to develop because I wanted to have everything you would ever want in a pillow. I made sure that you could adjust my patented fill so you could have the exact support you need as an individual regardless of your sleep position. I also wanted a pillow that would last, so I made MyPillow machine washable and dryable. I back MyPillow with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Not only that, I do all my own manufacturing in my home state of Minnesota.
I really like the fact that it was made in the USA. I think that USA products are a better quality product. I've tried a lot of other pillows and nothing's worked like MyPillow.
I'm interrupting this commercial right now. Retailers have canceled MyPillow, and to thank you for your support, I'm going to pass the savings directly on to you. For example, you get my 6-piece towel sets, regular $109.99, now only $44.98, or MyPillow dog beds for as low as $19.99 with your promo code.
I used to think that sheets were just sheets. I got the Giza Dream sheets. They are the most comfortable sheets I've ever had.
The Go Anywhere pillow is so easy to just roll up and take anywhere I want to go.
The Go Anywhere pillow is really comfortable, so that's what I really like. It's nice and supportive, and it's nice and small.
The MyPillow topper, for the first time, has enabled me to have a cool night's sleep. I'm able to go to bed and just get rest.
That's 3 inches of wonderful that's in the MyPillow mattress topper. It's just like a firm cloud.
MyPillow helps me get a good night's sleep so I can do my job in the morning.
Go to MyPillow.com to get deep discounts, not just on my pillows, but so much more. For example, you get my 6-piece towel sets, regular $109.99, now only $44.98, or MyPillow dog beds for as low as $19.99 with your promo code.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit